Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back with some daily race Bs trying to take on the overpowered Scirocco. So if you do enjoy these videos, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you do not miss any future videos. So first up, I have to apologize if I sound a bit funny because my face is still very swollen, and yeah, it was quite traumatic what we went through with getting the 2 teeth out. Had to have quite a few stitches in my gum, so yeah, probably not going to be a stream for at least today. I don't know about tomorrow, I'll see how I feel, but let's get on with this video. First up, we're going to be taking the Jaguar at the Scirocco and seeing what the Jaguar can do. I tried 3 different cars, the Jaguar, Ferrari and McLaren. First up, we're in the Jaguar obviously, and let's see what we can do. Starting from P2, can we take on the Scirocco? Now first thing I noticed with the Jaguar was it doesn't seem very powerful anymore. Now they did obviously change the BOP on the Jaguar quite I think on the last BOP adjustment. Again, they've done 2 BOP adjustments to this car and it feels quite weak now. It doesn't feel like it's got very much power at all. So first up, I can tell I'm struggling to stay in the slipstream of P1 in this race. It just seems very underpowered on acceleration. We're going to see what we can do though. You see coming through here we get a little bit of understeer as well. What I find is that this car feels very sluggish, especially when you're comparing it to the Scirocco that is ahead of us there. That car is like lightning. It just, I just cannot believe how fast that car is in Group 4. Now obviously if you add tyre wear into the mix, things would be a bit different probably in the long run. But yeah, at the moment, when tyre wear is off, the Scirocco is unbelievably dominant. So for qualifying for Group 4 races, the majority of tracks, the Scirocco and some other FF cars do tend to be insanely good. But good news for us behind us, you see in the mirror there, the cars that are behind me, the other Sciroccos, are battling like crazy. Bad news for me, we've lost the slipstream. Even though we had the slipstream to the Scirocco ahead, he was able to break away from the slipstream while I'm in the slipstream. That really does emphasize to me just how strong the Scirocco is around this track. So going through the final corner, trying to do as best as we could through there. Actually did a reasonable exit there, but again, we're not going to be able to get anywhere near that Scirocco now that he's broke away from the slipstream. I think, to put it in perspective, this car just felt really weak, and I didn't know this until I obviously joined the race. It was struggling to get into the 48. Now it will do 48 obviously, but what I will say is it's just not as easy to do them as certain other cars. The Scirocco, it can easily do 47s. I would say on an average lap, the Scirocco feels at least 7 tenths to maybe 1 second faster than the Jaguar as we fast forward these laps here, as the Scirocco behind me is gradually starting to catch me up. So even with that chaos he had at the start, he's now got into our slipstream. So we're going to have to try and defend for the last 2 laps. Now I really wanted to make sure I get at least a P2 for the Jaguar, just to show that you can still, you know, get a result with some of these weaker cars. But yet the Jaguar really is struggling at this combination, and I actually thought it might do okay, but after trying 3 different cars, this was the weakest car in my opinion out of all the cars available for selection. In terms of the cars I actually use, that is, I mean, I think the Megane would possibly struggle here, although it takes speed through the corners, but it would get dropped in the straights, for example. But yeah, there are other cars that are going to struggle probably more than the Jaguar around this combination. But out of the 3 that I use, the Ferrari, McLaren, Jaguar seems pretty poor as we work our way up this hill. And just look in the mirror at just how fast this Scirocco manages to gain on us. It's almost scary. It's almost like a predator attacking its prey. It's just so quick in its movements coming up behind. It's quite scary that that car is that fast. But yeah, we're going to try our best to see if we can defend from the Scirocco and hold him off as much as we physically can. So going through here, trying to make sure we stay very narrow to the apex. Very important to do that. You want to almost aim to skim the barrier on the inside, and then really try and take the speed through the corner. This final corner, tricky one. The FF cars do tend to seem to suffer a little bit on the exit there. They tend to spin up their front tyres and seem to lose a little bit, but then as soon as the acceleration kicks in, there is literally nothing you can do. Through here though, look in the mirror. For some reason, I think he misjudges that. I stayed left deliberately to try and hold the defensive line, and he ends up giving us a nice little bump draft down the straight, which is going to help us defend. Now suddenly here, he tried to go for the fake, but actually drove all the way onto the grass, which I wouldn't recommend doing because you're going to get dirty tyres. So that then gives him very little grip through that corner, and you can see this now gives me the ability to defend turn 1 and then defend all the way up here into this next left-hand corner. So we managed to hold on to the position for a few more corners here, going through the braking zone, trying to get the car into the apex. Very tricky corner, this one, to get the car rotated into the corner and give yourself the exit speed going into this next left-hand corner. And again, this is quite a tricky corner to get right. When you do get it right, it feels amazing, but when you get it wrong, you understeer and hit that barrier so easy. But as you can see behind us, he got a little bit of a mistake through there, and that has given me the ability to defend going into this next braking zone, which, yeah, this is the area where the Jaguar is quite weak on that uphill section with the loss of power. However, because he got a weak exit, that's enabled me to stay in the lead here, and now we've just got to try and hold it all the way to the finish. So through here, you can see getting very close again, building closer and closer, and just not really able to go for a move. He's had a little look there, but he's not going to be able to send it. And then into this corner, we're just trying to do it nice and smooth through there. Didn't really take that much speed through that corner. You could see dropped down to like 104, 105 miles per hour. So didn't really carry the speed through the corner. But on the exit, get a nice strong exit there, and we've managed to hold on to position as we fast forward the action to the finishing line, and we come home with a P2. So Jaguar managed the P2, although it really didn't feel very competitive. We were miles behind P1 because the Jaguar was just so weak. Next attempt, we're going to give it a go in the Ferrari. Now, the Ferrari is a much better car. I could tell you that we did a few laps again in time trial, and instantly was nearly a second quicker than the Jaguar could do in the time trial. That Jaguar just felt really weak for some reason. It's possibly the way I'm driving it, but maybe I need to get more used to it. But yeah, the Ferrari felt more suited to this track. So can we manage to take a win in the Ferrari? Let's wait and see. As we start the race behind P1, straight away, I noticed the accelerations a lot better in the Ferrari than it was in the Jaguar. So first of all, we've got to try and stay with that Scirocco also. So staying as close as we can, getting in his slipstream, utilising the slipstream because we've got Sciroccos behind us are going to be very fast in this race also. So trying to take that tight line through there on the power as early as we can, and now working our way into that tricky left-hand corner where if you get it right, you do really feel like you've nailed it. But then if you get it slightly wrong, you can easily understeer into the barrier. So trying to get the slipstream through here. This is where it's really important to stay in the slipstream, because the uphill section for a lot of other cars is really very troublesome in terms of defending against the Scirocco, because that Scirocco's got so much acceleration. We get a really good exit from that corner. However, because the Scirocco in front of me didn't do the corner very well, I had to go to the left. This has given the other Scirocco on our inside the ability to go up the inside, and he's managed to take that position, and we're down to P3. So quite frustrating because of the error of the other Scirocco. That's knocked us back down to P3. But we're not going to give up on this. As we come through here, we see that the Scirocco again makes a mistake in the lead, and that leaves the door open on the right hand side as the other Scirocco tries to take a tighter line, and we manage to get ourselves up alongside the inside of the orange Scirocco. And then going through here, we're going to stay in the slipstream with the blue Scirocco, and he obviously wants to give me the slipstream because it makes more sense. So I decide, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll bump draft you, because then that's going to give me the speed down the straight. And we manage to get ourselves back up to P2, and we're going to go for the move into turn 1. Can we manage to hold on to this? We do. We managed to take that position, and we're up to P1. However, we've now got the orange Scirocco who wants the P1 position, so we're going to try and defend the inside line. The Scirocco is going to try and hang it around the outside. He's going to have trouble with that one. We brake really late, managed to hold on to the P1, and now again into that tricky right-hand corner, getting on the power as early as we can. We see a Scirocco in the distance there going off. I think that was the driver that was P1. Makes a big error and goes off the track, so he's out of this battle. Now the orange Scirocco is going to try and hang it around the outside there. Luckily, we get a really good exit speed. We give him the space, and we're still in the lead. Now he's going to go to the right-hand side. I'm going to stay on the left-hand side to take the shortest distance to give the Ferrari some form of an advantage. However, that Scirocco is so fast down the straight. We're going to try and defend this into the braking zone, braking as late as we can. On the brakes down to first gear, and on the throttle really early. We really got on the throttle aggressively there and managed to put ourselves still into P1. So defending reasonably well here. We've got a Scirocco train of 2 Sciroccos right behind us, and then Another further 3 or 4 Sroccos behind that, but they're just outside the slipstream range, it looks like, as I'm trying to defend from these cars that are just so overpowered at this combination. It is so difficult, I have to say. But we'll do our best in the Ferrari to see if we can hold on to this P1. It's going to be very, very difficult though as we work our way down the straight now. Fast forward the action and you can just see how easily that Scirocco catches us up. We're going to stay to the left hand side, and again the blue Scirocco on the inside decides to give me the bump draft. However, the orange Scirocco doesn't look very happy with that, and he kind of squeezes him off track, and I can see now why the blue Scirocco got a little bit annoyed at that. And then as we look in the mirror behind us, a little nudge from the blue Scirocco nudges the orange one off, and yeah, I can kind of see where he was coming from. He was kind of getting pushed onto the grass. So now we've got a battle with just one Scirocco for the remaining 2 laps in this race. Can we hold on to P1 against his Scirocco? He gives us a little nudge there in the braking zone, although I don't think that was deliberate, although that doesn't stop him from trying to go around the outside now of this corner up here. Is he going to be able to hang on to the position? So I take a very, very narrow line through there. He holds the outside, and we both give each other the respect, and we're side by side still. Look at this racing going on. Side by side, giving each other respect. I'm going to take the inside again, see if we can hold it for the braking zone. And this is a great little battle. Into the braking zone, we're going to brake as late as we can. Onto the brakes. We managed to get nice and early, and as you see, he actually turns a little bit too early and just clips the wall on the left-hand side. So yeah, we're still in P1 in this race, holding on with everything that we've got. As we come towards the end of lap 3, we can see trying to take that corner as fast as we physically can. The Scirocco behind me seems to drop back a little bit there. Didn't really take the exits, the corner and speed through the corner. And then we come to this final corner where again the Ferrari seems pretty strong. I go straight away to the left to try and avoid him getting the slipstream for the straight, because this Scirocco is going to be coming at us so fast down the straight. And again, we're going to stay to the right hand side to try and avoid him getting that slipstream. So then gradually move the car back over to the defensive line on the inside, and we're going to have to probably hold this all the way down to the braking zone. So we look in the mirror, the Scirocco goes to go around the outside. We brake as late as we can down to second gear, although we brake a little bit too late, and that kind of compromises our exit. And the blue Scirocco has managed to get up on the inside, so now we're back down to P2 in this really entertaining race, I have to say, trying to hold on and trying to win the race with this Ferrari. The Ferrari felt so much better than the Jaguar, much more competitive, although the lap times are not great, but that's because we are battling, we're racing and battling, and even then we're still faster than we was with the Jaguar. So that really does show you, this car's fighting with other, cars and side by side, and we're still managing to do lap times faster than the Jaguar. This car will easily do 48.1s and 2s and stuff like that if you're in clean air. As we come fast forward the action a little bit, and we get a really good exit now. We've got pretty much a couple of corners to go for a move. We got after the fast left hand corner, we've got that heavy braking zone where we might be able to go for an attacking move. So coming through here, we really need to attack the car through here, even though we're in that dirty air. Try and take a really tight line, carry the speed nicely. He's going to go defensive. He sees the opportunity. I just do a fake there, brake normally, and now we're going to go down to first gear and try and get a really strong exit, which we managed to do. And you can see the Scirocco actually decides to go defensive there on the inside. I'm going to go out to the outside and then try and tuck in his slipstream with a smoother line through this corner and see if we can get the slipstream down the straight. You can see as we come through here, though, he has a little moment of lag just as I pull out the slipstream there. Just a little moment of lag. Maybe I could have stayed in the slipstream a little longer, and we have to take the P2. So again, an enjoyable race, and I think we did well in that Ferrari. We nearly stole the win at the end in the Ferrari as well. So far we haven't managed to take that P1. However, we are not going to give up. This race again, absolutely full of the FF cars, mainly the Scirocco, and I am the only non-FF car in the race with the McLaren this time. Can we get a result in the McLaren 650S? Let's see what we can do in this one. So working our way down the straight, getting that slipstream again. The McLaren very, very strong in that slipstream. I have to say the McLaren might actually be slightly stronger than the Ferrari on the straights with the slipstream. It did actually feel a little bit better, but again, I think the Ferrari might have been slightly faster through some of the cornering sections. So pretty equal cars, I reckon, judging by the little go that I had on each car. But can we manage to finally get a win at this combination and actually put that Scirocco in its place and, show that you can get a win with a different car? So coming through here into that slipstream again, trying to stay as close as we can. The problem we've got now at the moment is obviously P2 has got the slipstream to the other Scirocco, so two Scirocco's slipstreaming each other, and the McLaren is really struggling to stay close to them. You see we do an early upshift into fourth gear there. Fast forward in the action on the uphill section, that is where the McLaren really feels weak at the moment. Luckily for me though, P1 and 2 decide to battle for the lead. That is perfect for me because that gives me the opportunity to get back in that slipstream fully, and without that we might have been actually suffering, maybe at risk of losing the slipstream to P1 and P2. So again through there, trying to carry the speed into the next braking zone. Can we manage to stay close? This is the aim. We get very close. We actually get a little nudge from the car behind, I think they're in the braking zone, which nudges us into P2. So that was a bit unfortunate, but luckily no penalties for either of us in the race, and no harm done there as we work our way onto the start finishing straight. And we're going to get that slipstream 7th gear as early as we can in the slipstream in the McLaren, because that is where the McLaren really is at its strength, in that 7th gear. When you're in a slipstream, just look at the speed we're building up down the straight, and we're getting a massive amount of tow from them cars, but just not able to go for a move into the braking zone. But we're just going to sit back, hold tight, and sit in that slipstream for this lap. We need to really be quite clever if we're going to try and get a win. At the moment, the possibility is still there. You know, we're not far from P1. P2's just in front of us. We've, however, got a very fast Scirocco right behind me also, so it's a 4-car battle at the moment, and we're trying our best to hold on to this position or make our way into P1. So again, through this tricky left-hand corner, try and get the car into that apex, and then on the power as early as you can. I really recommend that. You really need to get that corner so that you're on the power as quickly as possible. Into the next braking zone again, them Sciroccos seem quite weak through the slower left-hand corners. I've noticed that again for the final corner. The McLaren seem to be a little bit better on that section, so that may be something to look out for, you know, if we can try and find the way past somehow. Now into this next left-hand corner, trying to carry the speed again. The Scirocco behind me is all over our rear, but luckily for me again, the two up front, a little bit of battling going on, and that is perfect because that's just going to give me that slipstream again, and we're in a very, very good position here because, like I say, the McLaren in that 7th gear is really strong, so we might be able to go for a move if this works out right. And perfectly, P2 decides to pull out that slipstream nice and early, so now we've got a massive draft all the way down street, 153 miles per hour nearly, just clipping 153. We're going to take the inside as the other Scirocco tries to defend from the other car, and I will take that, thank you very much, up into P2, right on the lap 3 out of 4, and luckily for me, the other Sciroccos are battling behind us, so this is a perfect situation. All I have to do now is drive smoothly, drive clean, and see if we can hold on to this position to the very end. It's going to be very tricky. However, if they carry on battling behind us, they're just going to lose so much time. So fast forward in the action on the uphill section, we've got the other Scirocco. He's got the slipstream up the straight. He's going to go for a move on the outside, but will he be able to make that move? I say to the inside, brake as late as we can, hold the apex as much as I can through here, and onto the power. We try and give him as much space on the outside there. There was a tiny bit of contact. I think that was fair. We gave him racing room on the outside, and now they're 3 wide behind us. Almost perfect situation for me looking in the mirror there. 3 wide with the Sciroccos. That is absolutely perfect. As we come through this fast left-hand corner, you can see that they're dropping out of the slipstream range nearly, very close to losing them, and then into the braking zone for this left-hand corner. We get on the power as early as we can as the battling continues behind us, and we've actually managed to get out the slipstream range. So this is absolutely perfect. We fast forward the action just to see if they're going to get back into the slipstream range for the turn 1, and they haven't managed to do it. Absolutely perfect situation. Then we look behind, and all hell is breaking loose behind us. So this is perfect. We're absolutely flying in the McLaren. We skip through to the end of the race, and we managed to take the win. And to make it even better, we managed to get the fastest lap on the final lap and take the P1 position and fastest lap. So yeah, McLaren manages to do it, and we managed to show them Sciroccos. You do not need to use the FF cars. You can get a result in something different. We drove really well in that one, took our opportunities when they came, and yeah, fastest lap as well. Happy with that one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and do hit that thumbs up button because it really does help the channel, and we'll be back with more videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye.